Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. Today I have put together my top 10 most commented on videos. And here we go with number 1. This is just a picture that I had. It was sitting on our dresser and I thought, okay, I can do something with this. So I'm going in with some Rust-Oleum in the color Clean Linen. And I'm going to end up giving it 2 coats of paint. You know, we're changing around the decor in our bedroom, and I figured, you know, I could use this for something. And it turned out really, really nice. You'd be surprised, you know, what you have laying around your house that you can, you know, refurbish and do something new, you know, with it. Just use a little bit of imagination. Okay, now I'm going to be going in with the color Mineral, and I'm going to be just giving it a pretty heavy distressing. Going to be going around the front, sides, and top as well. And I'm just using an old chippy brush for this. And I have these 4 wooden pegs. And I'm going in with the same color of paint, the Mineral, and I'm just giving them 1 good coat of paint. As I said, these are going to be the little legs for my little tray that I'm creating. And I believe I picked these up at Walmart for like $2 or something like that. It wasn't very expensive. And then I'm going to be going in with some hot glue, and I will be attaching them to the bottom of this little, I call it a tray. What I'm going to be doing is adding some votive cups, tea light candles, and some boxwood greenery. And it turned out so high-end looking just for a few bucks. And here's the finished project. And this you could actually use with any decor or any color that you have going on in your home. I just think it's bright and it's pretty. The greenery just gives it that extra pop that it needs. I hope that you like it too. And on to the next one. I picked up these 2 planters. These came from Five Below. I wasn't digging the mustard color, so I'm going in with Rust-Oleum spray paint in the color of charcoal, and I will be giving them both complete coverage with the spray paint. And what I did is I went in and I used the pill and stick little gems from the Dollar Tree and just created 2 different looks for each one. You can see them here. Going back in with the same color of charcoal paint and going over the gems with the spray paint. And you can see how neat the design turned out. Okay, now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going in with the Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white, and I'm going to be doing a light distressing, especially over the gems, the pill and stick gems. The middle, be doing around the edges as well on both pieces. Like I said, just a little bit of paint absolutely took these up to a couple notches as far as the looks. And then I'll be going in and replacing. They actually came with some succulents that was attached to some floral foam. And I'm going to put them right back in the ones that they came out of. And I absolutely love them. Matter of fact, my daughters already came over and took them to her home. She was like, Mom, please can I have them? They go better with her decor than they do mine. So I didn't mind giving them to her. And when you add the price of each one of the succulents, as well as the holders that they came in, it would be around the same price as the Dollar Tree. And here we have the finished projects. I love them. I hope that you guys like them too. And we're going to go on with the next one. I'm just using a little, I guess it's sort of like galvanized bucket from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going in with the mineral color once again. And I'm going to completely cover this bucket, all except for the insides I do not do. And I found that it was easier, excuse me, easier to use, you know, this sponge on this metal. It covered a lot better. And then I actually go in with some Waverly Antique Wax and distress it out a little bit. I did not get that part on film. Okay, you can see where I distressed it a little bit. And I'm going to go in with some sandpaper and I'm just going to sand down the words where you can see them a little bit better. I do that on the front as well as the back. These little buckets are so cute. Oh, I just love them. Okay, now I'm going to be going in with some Dollar Tree Floral Foam. And I'll be cutting it down where all three pieces will fit in. I have to cut that piece a couple times to get it to work. And then I'm going to be going in with some lamb's ear. I picked up these at Walmart. I believe they were like $1.97 each or something like that. It was very, very inexpensive. And then these little flowers, I got them from the Dollar Tree, and they're absolutely gorgeous flowers. So what I'm doing is I'm just filling up the inside between the lamb's ear, just completely filling it up. And this floral arrangement ended up going to my mother, and she just loved it. And here is the finished project. And I think it's high-end looking. You know, it took me maybe $10 total to make this. And she really loved it. Okay, now on this piece, I had this picture frame in my stash. And I was just going to go in. I was just going to do like a dry brush in the Rust-Oleum and the clean linen, using a chippy brush, and I just go all the way around the frame, you know, thinking that that's all I wanted to do. And then I got this bright idea, and you'll see here in a second, that I wanted to add some different colors to it to see what I could come up with. Well, in the beginning, it was not that successful for me. I had to do a lot of mixing to come up with a color that was even close to what I was looking for. But with crafting, you know that you have to just keep going until, you know, until you're happy. You just, you know, sometimes it takes 4 or 5 different things. And I'm going in with this Burnt Sienna by Arteza. And then when I go and I mix it with the white, it's going to come out looking like a mustard green color. See, you can see it there. And I wasn't really digging that at all, but I keep going anyway. You know that saying, if first you don't succeed, try again? Well, that's where I was at on this one. And I thought, okay, well, maybe it's not that bad after all. And then I think, well, you know, maybe I need to try something different. And then I have these 2 little boxes that I'm going to be working on here in just a second. I set this aside. Just trying to get it all covered. Yeah, I set that aside just so I could think about it for a little bit, but I went in with just the bottom part, not the lid, of these 2 little boxes, and I went in with some burnt umber. And I'm not giving it a complete coverage. You know, just sort of like a distressed look here on these little boxes. Excuse me. And I'm doing the sides as well as the bottom. I'm just doing that on both of the boxes. And somehow I ended up adding, it's like a cobalt blue by Arteza. I decided, okay, I was going to go that route. And when I did, I created like this really beautiful color. Like a, sort of like an aqua. You know, and here I am going in. Well, first of all, I'm going to go in with the darker shade. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I got the green color and I painted these little squares. So I'm putting a square for the little legs on this one. And then on the other box, I'm going to add some wooden circles. Little wooden round balls on the bottom for the legs on that. And I, you know, kept looking at it and I thought, well, is this color okay? But it was. It turned out really nice. Okay, I'll set them aside to dry now. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add the frame part. Or the, what do you call it? Oh my goodness. The insert to the picture frame. This was a nice little frame and I gave 25 cents for it at a garage sale, you know. I don't pass up picture frames or jars, glass jars, or anything. I have quite a lot in my stash. Okay, then when I flip it back over, I'm going to be using these butterflies. I know that, I'm sure if you go to Dollar Tree, you've seen these. And I'm going to be placing one in each one of the framed areas. And I'm going to start off with the yellow and green, and I'm going to put one of those on each side. And I'm going to place the really pretty blue in the middle. And guys, I think it's cute. I think it turned out gorgeous. On these boxes, I've got some gravel or some stones that I picked up from the Dollar General. I think they were $2. And I'm just going to be adding some into each one of the boxes. Then I'm going to be going in and using Dollar Tree succulents and adding a few in each one of the boxes. Of course, I have to move them around and try to place them where they look right. And that's me getting up from the table to turn off my camera because my remote stopped. Okay, here is the final reveal for the little picture. And I think it turned out so cute. Sort of a modern farmhouse look. And here's the two little boxes. Okay, now we're moving on to the third one. Or to whatever number this is. And it's going to be quick. The camera was on high speed and I didn't know it. I got one of those little wire wreaths from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 for $1. And I'm using white nautical rope. And I just went all the way around it and glued it down. And I'm going in with the Sola wood flowers. And guys, if you've not tried these, you need to look them up. They are the most beautiful little flowers to use for embellishments for your crafts. And they're reasonably priced. You know, they're not a sponsor of mine. I don't have sponsors yet because I've not made it that far yet, but I will. Okay, I was going to make a bow, and I went through all this process of doing this and you know, tying it off, and I actually hot glue the bow to the top of this little wreath, and I realized, you know, after you'll see here in a second, it was just too big for the wreath. And I thought, well, how in the world, what am I going to do to fix this one? You'll see when I put it up there, it's just huge. And I try working with it, and here I am going in and making a couple of tails for the ribbon, and I dovetail the bottoms and all that. I go through the whole thing. And I glue it up to the top, and I look at it, and then I thought, well, you know, maybe if I tuck a couple of those little ribbons in, they won't look so big. And I thought, no, that's not going to work. Nope. And I just end up just taking a piece of ribbon and using it for a hanger. And it turns out beautiful. See, guys, it's simple, but it's gorgeous. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not. But, you know, when you do a project and it turns out good, then you're very happy. You feel accomplished. Okay, now on this one, I had this little galvanized bucket. And I didn't like it that way, so I'm going in with the charcoal spray paint by Rust-Oleum. And this took 2 coats of paint to cover it. This is another one of my favorite projects. Actually, I got this project is one of the ones I got a lot of comments on. And the only thing about it is I had the ratio turned wrong on my camera on this specific project. So I ask you to just bear with me through this. What I did is I took some burlap ribbon, or just burlap, and I pulled this one string out of each side to just give it a frayed look. Then I'm going in with my hot glue and I'm just closing it up and just trying to like cover it up and seam it up here without getting burned. Got the finger protectors, but I don't use them like I should. Using Dollar Tree foam. And at first I went in with the lamb's ear again. And then, you know, after I started putting it together, I got to realizing that that was just too much for the size of that little pail. So, you know, I'm going in and fluffing it out. And then I'll be going in, adding these beautiful Dollar Tree flowers. And I mean, seriously, guys, the Dollar Tree, they have rocked it this year with their florals. They have. Any kind you would want, they have it. And I'm just going in and, you know, no specific order for these. I'm just placing them, the blue, mostly blues with a little white. But what I end up doing, you will see in the final reveal, I remove the lamb's ear, I replace it with hydrangeas and lavender. because it needed a pop of color. And when I added the lavender, that's exactly what it needed. And you'll see how beautiful it turned out. And then once again, I will say, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money at all to have nice decor in your home. And I'm going to be having on my channel a lot of thrift flips because it's starting to be garage sale season, and I find a lot of my stuff at garage sales and I will flip it. And you know, a lot of, you know, the saying is true, other people's trash is my treasure. That's how I view it. You know, they get rid of things because they don't want it anymore or whatever. Well, I see a project with it and I go with it. And we're getting down to the last flower. I thank you guys for hanging with me this long. Here's the finished project. I went in and I added a little burlap flower to the front of it. And see how the lavender just added that perfect touch of color. I hope you all like it too. You know, I wanted to share these projects with you because I have a lot of new subscribers that may not have seen these videos. Okay, on this project, I just got these 2 flower wooden cutouts from the Dollar Tree. I'm using the Waverly Antique Wax with the baby wipe. Now, I'm not going back in and wiping off the excess because I love this color. I will do the front, back, and inside, you know, on the top around the edges on both pieces. And I will be going in and staining some of these little wooden balls that I purchased from Amazon. And you'll be seeing that here in a second. And this here, I've said before in my videos, this antique wax, it is like a staple for my craft stash. I have to always have this. I used it on so many things and I love the color. Okay, here's the beads. And I just took hot glue and I laid them down, put them down around the flower, leaving the top petal open. And I'm just laying this down just to kind of measure it out. And what I do is I go in with the hot glue. And what I was going to do is just add it to the beads. And I got like, you know, halfway around and I realized, okay, that is just running down off of the beads completely onto the paper towel. So I decided to just go around the flower, just around the edges. I'm giving it just a little bit of hot glue there. Then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing that piece on top of the other and pressing it down so it'll hold. And if you stayed with me this long, again, thank you. And I ask if you like my, you know, my content, that you consider joining my YouTube family. Hit that thumbs up for me. It helps my channel to grow. Subscribe and hit that post notification bell. It's going to keep you informed every time that I upload a video. Okay, I walked into the Dollar Tree the other day and there was these pink cattails. Oh my goodness. There was 2 bundles. I took them. I was being selfish that day. And I thought, okay, I'm going to add these to this project. And oh, they turned out beautiful. Of course, I go in and straighten them all out. And I add some little white flowers from the Dollar Tree. I add some of those in the side. And then I'm going to be going in with these beautiful green flowers. At first, I was so scared to add these with the pink because I didn't know, what it was going to turn out to look like. But guys, I was very impressed with it. And for me, it was thinking outside the box. It was taking a chance. And I have a saying that you never know until you try. So I tried. And it worked for me. I'll add another green one in the side. And then I'm going to be going in and adding a green one right in the middle in the front. And I have hot glue stuck all over my fingernails. Every time I craft. Oh my goodness. I'm a messy crafter at times, I think. And let me know in the comments what you think about this specific project. If you like the colors together. And feel free to browse through my other videos. I have a lot more projects. I just did not want to sit here and post up 20 of them. Here's the finished project. Like I said, I was leery about it at first, but I think it turned out gorgeous. And you can use any kind of florals if you wanted to try to, to dupe this. Just any kind that your heart desires. And I hope that you enjoyed my video. And thank you for stopping by.